All right, thanks, guys. We're coming off another perfect 4-0 day on my Patreon website. And of course, that's our second 4-0 day in our last 3 days. So certainly red hot on my Patreon website. That's going to improve our record to 4-0 in our last 4 extra daily picks, 10-2 in our last dozen daily extra picks as well. We're also 3-0 in our last 3 college basketball tiers and 5-2 in our last 7 in that category. Guys, I don't know how else to say it. I pride myself in humility, but we're red hot right now on Patreon. All you have to do is ask my Patreon members, and they will tell you. We are red hot right now. So anyway, if you want to get linked up, I strongly recommend it, especially if you watch me here on YouTube every day. At least join the Daily Best Play because we are just like smoking hot right now. But anyway, link for that site is in the description section below. Once again, that is patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, we got ourselves a pretty significant slate of NBA action here today. A lot of guys on, a lot of teams on a second of a back-to-back, so keep an eye on that. But anyway, let's go ahead and begin, starting off with the Timberwolves taking on the Clippers, and that's going to be a 3:30 Eastern tip-off in Los Angeles. The Clippers are the 9.5-point favorite, total at 230. We saw a half a point move toward Los Angeles and movement downward on the total. The Clippers open as the 9-point favorite, up to minus 9.5. Total open 232, down to 230. 57% of the consensus are leaning toward the Clippers. 78% shaded toward the over. And right now, Minnesota's plus 375 on the money line. Now, if you like Minnesota in this matchup here, just keep in mind, Alan Crabb is doubtful. Layman is out. But having said that, I know Minnesota's ice cold, but they still rank in the top 10 in offensive rebounding, top 5 in road scoring. They're averaging 114 points per contest away from home. They've got to break this streak at some point. And they've got players. Karl-Anthony Towns, 27 points a game, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. Andrew Wiggins, 23 points a game, 5 rebounds for him. And big shot Bobby Covington, 13 points a game, 6 rebounds for him. So like I said, I'm not oblivious. I know Minnesota is ice cold right now, but the streak has got to end, and this is a whole lot of points to be catching. Now the Clippers on the other side, they failed to cover the point spread in 3 out of their last 6. They also rank 17th in home defensive rebounding, and Kawhi Leonard is listed as questionable for tonight's action. Of course, this has been an emotional week for both LA teams, not only the Lakers, who had just a phenomenal tribute last night, but it has been an emotional week for the Clippers as well, as they share the same house with the Lakers. They share the house that Kobe built, so don't discredit that. It's an emotional week for the Clippers as well. Now, total-wise, 5 out of LA's last 8 games did get over the number. Minnesota's 70% to the over in their last 10. They're also 14-9 to the over when traveling. I'm going to lean toward the road dog in this one. Give me Minnesota plus 9.5 and the over 230 in that game. Next matchup, Knicks taking on the Pacers, 7 o'clock Indiana. The Pacers are minus 11, total at 213. We saw a half a point fade of Indiana and movement downward on the total. The Pacers open 11.5 down to minus 11. Total open 213.5 down to 213 even. 69% are leaning Pacers, 67% shaded toward the over. Right now the Knicks are plus 460 on the money line. Now Peyton and Ntilikina are still out. Peyton and Ntilikina have been ruled out for tonight's action for New York. R.J. Barrett, he is still out indefinitely. I do not have a timetable for you on the return of Barrett, so he is still out indefinitely, nothing changing there. Now, the Knicks have lost 7 out of their last 9 games. They lost to the likes of Memphis, Charlotte, and Phoenix during that stretch. The Knicks rank in the bottom 3 in scoring, bottom 5 in offensive field goal percentage. They've been victorious in just 6 out of their 24 road games this year, and they are currently in the 13th seed in the Eastern Conference. A couple more things to add about New York here. They rank in the bottom 3 in road scoring, and they're in the bottom 3 in road defensive rebounding. They're averaging just 103 points per contest away from home. Now the Pacers on the other side, a little bit of a different story here. Winners of 8 out of their last 10. They also covered 70% of their games in those 10 as well. They rank in the top 3 in offensive field goal percentage, top 5 in shooting the three ball. They are currently 18-5 straight up on their home court and 14-9 against the spread in those games. TJ Warren, he's leading the charge, 18 points, 4 rebounds. Domantas Sabonis, 18 points, 13 boards, and 5 assists, And last but certainly not least, Malcolm Brogdon, 17 points a game, 7 assists for him. Indiana ranks in the top 10 in points allowed, top 3 in defending the three ball at home. Pacers, 3-0 to the over in their last 3, 5-2 to the over in their last 7. I'm going to lean Pacers minus 11 and the over 213 in that contest. Next matchup, Heat taking on the Magic, 7 o'clock Orlando. Miami's minus 2.5 on the road, total at 206 and a hook. We saw a 1-point move toward Miami, not really surprised about that. And we did see movement downward on the total, not really surprised about that as well. The Heat, once again, opened as the 1.5-point favorite, up to minus 2.5. Total opened 207.5, down to 206 and a hook. 71% are leaning Miami. 77% of the consensus actually shaded toward the over right now. And at the moment, Orlando is plus $1.25 on the money line. Now, Evan Fournier, he is listed as questionable with a back injury for the Magic. And Orlando, ice cold right now. Losers of their last 4 straight. Just 1-6 straight up in their last 7. The Magic rank in the bottom 3 in scoring, bottom 3 in offensive field goal percentage. They've also successfully covered the point spread in just 9 out of their 24 home games. They're currently 11.5 games back of Miami in the Southeast Division, and they rank in the bottom 10 in defensive rebounding. A couple more things to add about the Magic. They rank dead last in home scoring. They're averaging just 102 points per contest in Orlando. Now, the Heat on the other side, they rank in the top 10 in offensive field goal percentage, top 3 in shooting the three ball. They're currently tied for the 3rd seed with Boston in the Eastern Conference, and they're just 2 games back of Toronto for that 2nd seed right now. Miami, top 3 in defensive rebounding, top 10 in defensive field goal percentage. Jimmy Butler, 20 points a game, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals. Kendrick Nunn, 16 points a game, 4 assists. He has been upgraded to probable, so it looks like Kenny Nunn is a go for tonight. And of course, Bam Adebayo, he is averaging double-digit rebounds on the season. He's also averaging 16 points and 5 assists. Miami, they rank in the top 10 in road offensive field goal percentage, top 10 in road defensive rebounding. Now, total-wise, the Heat, 60% to the over in their last 10, 14-9 to the over when traveling. I'm going to lean Miami Heat minus 2.5. And the over 206.5 in that game. And before we go ahead and move on, I'm going to go ahead and do a big commercial for about 3 minutes. But before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Saturday's NBA action. Happy Saturday to you. Hopefully you had a great Friday night, and hopefully you have a lot of cool stuff planned for the weekend, whether that's out and about, adventurous, going to the casino, or just sitting at home watching games, betting on your phone. Really doesn't matter, just as long as you enjoy your weekend. But anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. But what I do know what I'm talking about is this. Guys, you got to check me out on my Patreon website. I do daily premium sports picks on that site beginning at just $1.99 per month. They're premium picks. It's not me handicapping all the games on the board side in total. It's premium picks. I nail it down to 3 to 4 premium selections per day. And once again, memberships on that site start at just $1.99 per month. Guys, we went 4-0 yesterday on that site. We had 4 premium picks. I won all of them. 4-0 yesterday. And that is the second day that I went 4-0 in the last 3 days. So we are red hot right now. We're currently 4-0 in our last 4 extra daily picks, 10-2 in our last dozen extra daily picks as well. Now, the extra daily pick, that's a membership that I offer, which is $2.99 through the end of the month. And we're also currently 3-0 in our last 3 college basketball tier plays, 5-2 in our last 7. The college basketball tier, we have a big play tonight. Actually, big play this afternoon. And that membership is $29.99 through the end of the month as well. Guys, you might be wondering, why would I buy a package when, I get all the picks for free here on YouTube? And you're exactly right. I give you free picks here on YouTube. But the problem is, if you were to bet every single game on the board that I give you here on YouTube, if you were to bet every single game on the board side and total with your hard-earned money, you are guaranteed to lose in the long run. It's just way too many games, way too many angles. The math becomes aggressively against you the more and more games that you put on your ticket. So what I do on Patreon, I make life a whole lot easier for you. I break it down to just 3 to 4 premium selections per day. I really focus in and dial in on 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're high percentage picks, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, my current Patreon record is a whole lot better than it is handicapping the entire slate on the board, side and total. So you can check out my current record for free right now. All you have to do is click the link in the description section below. The record's right on the homepage, and that is patreon.com/BrockPage. All right, let's go ahead and get into some more free lines and personal leans right here on YouTube. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got the Nets taking on the Wizards. 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off in the nation's capital. The Wizards are the 1-point favorite at home, total at 241.5. We did see a flip of the line in this one as Washington opened as the 1.5-point dog. We also saw movement upward on the total. Washington opened plus 1.5, now -1. Total opened 239.5, up to 241 and a hook. 53% are leaning Wizards, 65% shaded toward the over. Right now the Nets are plus 102 on the money line. Now Brooklyn, winners of 3 out of their last 4. They also went 3-1 against the spread in those 4 games. They rank in the top 3 in offensive rebounding, top 5 in defensive field goal percentage. Kyrie Irving, 28 points a game, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, coming off a monster 50-point night last night. Spencer Dinwiddie, 21 points a game, 7 assists. Then Karis LeVert, 14 points a game, 4 rebounds for him. Brooklyn ranks in the top 3 in offensive rebounding on the road, top 5 in defensive field goal percentage on the road as well. Now, Washington on the other side, winners of just 3 out of their last 9. McRae's out. Hachimura is listed as questionable. Wall and Wagner still out indefinitely. Washington, bottom 3 in offensive rebounding, last in points allowed. They're giving up 121 points per contest, and they are currently tied for the worst record in the Eastern Conference. Now, Washington, 5-0 to the over in their last 5, 7-2 to the over in their last 9. Brooklyn, 5-1 to the over in their last 6 themselves. Of course, 7 out of their last 9 got over the number as well. I'm going to lean toward the slight road dog in this one. Give me Brooklyn plus 1 and the over 241.5 in that contest. All right, guys.